we will call the City of Milton Common Council meeting to order Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. Is it 6:01? It is 6:01. Can I get confirmation of appropriate meeting notice?
Meeting notice was posted on Friday, December 2nd at Hometown Ace Hardware, Milton City Hall in Milton, Piggly Wiggly.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
There is a motion and multiple seconds from all sides. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We have an agenda. And Larry, Alderperson Larry Lane is so graciously decided to lead the Pledge of Allegiance going forward until 2023. So you know, Larry, if you're going to be absent, we expect a recording of you leading the pledge to be forwarded. All right. Just so we're clear on the expectations. Public comments regarding items which can be affected by council action. Oh, please, yes. We're ready? We're ready. Hearing no other public comments, the meeting dedication this evening.
I told Inga I was going to dedicate this to my cat, Charlie, but I'm not, even though he's amazing. So I'm actually dedicating this meeting to the teens in Milton. I'm lucky enough to interact with a good number of our community youth through the Library Teen Advisory Board, the Red Cross Youth Club, even Meccas, and then those who use the library and come to my programs. Maggie and I had the opportunity last week to meet with almost 40 teens who want to be a part of the Mountain Youth Coalition's youth groups. So that was an exciting experience. These teens have great ideas, a perspective we should listen to, and a desire to help the community and their peers. And I'm always amazed at how busy the teens are these days with their after-school activities, sports, jobs, volunteering, and the schoolwork that they have to do. So they are a fun and perplexing age group and really not that scary. So just shout out to them. We have some great teens in Milton.
I love that. Thank you very much. That's a great dedication. Okay, approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Larry is on fire.
I'll decline. He can take it.
Here's my second for his then.
Okay, it's just going to be this way. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, there is a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Okay, discussion and possible action regarding a partial waiver of option to purchase lands from Whole Farms Incorporated.
So in, in June of this year, the Common Council authorized the option to purchase 117 acres of land from Hull Farms Incorporated, which is located on the northwest corner of Vickerman Road and East Milton Harmony Town Line Road. Since that time, we have been approached by Clausen Quality Chocolates, who is looking to purchase 38 acres of that 117 acres for future development. Rather than going through the process of exercising a portion of our option and then purchasing the property and then turning around and selling it to Clausen, all parties agreed that it made sense that the city simply waive their option to purchase on that subject portion of land, so Clausen can then purchase that property outright directly from Hull Farms. Hull Farms and Clausen Chocolates have agreed to an offer to purchase with signatures in hand. So the last step in the process would be for the City of Milton to waive our option rights on that subject property of land, and then they can move forward with their closing. So it's really quite a win-win for the city, Clausen, and Hull as they can continue to expand on their campus and not be landlocked, and the city doesn't have to be involved.
We reserve the option.
we reserve the option on the
Yes,
balance.
that is correct. Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the partial waiver of option to purchase lands from Hull Farms.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Is there anyone opposed? That motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding ordinance 2022-504, adopting state statute 346.54 and its subsections.
We made the discovery at the police department when a vehicle was parked on a roadway against traffic, was causing a hazard. We were prepared to issue a parking citation for that and found that that statute was not incorporated within our ordinances. We had the option to write a traffic citation rather than the parking citation, but that was double the cost and much beyond what we typically write for a parking citation. So what we discovered we needed to do was incorporate that state statute within our ordinances, which then gives us a power to write a municipal citation for the violation rather than a state traffic ticket. So what's in front of you tonight is the adoption of that statute and its subsections within our code of ordinances. And then we can start processing those through our ordinance process rather than through our traffic citation process.
Questions or comments?
I just have to know, Chief, what did you say to the person who owned the car?
I am not even sure how that conversation went. I don't know how that played out.
Anything else?
Our Chris Keffler, our municipal court judge, has also set the bond schedule for that violation. $48 violation, just like the rest of our parking citations.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-504. My motion is to approve the first reading, waive the second and third, and adopt.
Second.
Second.
There's a motion. There's a second. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Discussion and possible action on ordinance 2022-505, amending section 2-322, Parks and Recreation Commission.
Okay, so I can take this.
Doesn't Eric want to take this?
You're good? Okay. So Max Olson, he's a local middle school student. He came to the Parks and Recreation Commission and presented on some different options to try and get youth more involved in local government. And after hearing him, the Parks and Recreation Commission voted to recommend to council to amend the ordinance that constructs the Parks and Recreation Commission and add a Milton Middle School representative to it. In addition, the appointment process for the Milton Middle School position and the Milton High School position, in the ordinance they were recommending to change it so the mayor and the council are appointing that position rather than going through the Milton High School principal or the Milton Middle School principal. They all have a lot of things on their plate, so it just maybe makes more sense for us to try and take care of those appointments on our own. So that's what's reflected in the ordinance then. I don't know if, Max, you want to say anything?
Do you want to say anything? You could just come up and introduce yourself because you've really spent a lot of time and effort, and I think the council deserves to meet you because you're a pretty special kid.
So, I'm Max Olson.
What's your address?
1243 Brown Drive,
In?
Milton, Wisconsin.
There you go.
53563. So, on October 17th, I presented to the Parks and Recreation Commission regarding additional youth involvement within local government and specifically the Parks and Recreation Commission. So, some of the options that I recommended were a potential youth subcommittee, and another option was a middle school student representative because the high school student representative seat had remained vacant for, I'm not exactly sure how long, but I know that it's vacant. So I decided that if we can kind of generate interest in the middle school years and then maybe have some competition for the seat, for the high school representative seat, when the middle school students go to high school. And obviously, now the discussion is on a middle school student representative seat.
Does the council have any questions or comments? Max, I do want to share with the council that he's been communicating with staff, with me, and really doing an excellent job in articulating like what his ideas are, why he has these ideas, and his great interests. So I am hoping like when he's like 18, he'll run for mayor, just like, you know, Justin Nichols did. For Manitowoc. So I'm excited about having youth be more involved. I think it's a great way to continue community engagement. And I appreciate all the time and effort that you have put into this.
I think it's a great idea. Nice job stepping up to the mic too.
Thank you.
I also think it is an awesome idea. I think that that's an age group that we really need to come back and do some more focusing on. Because these kids, you know, they don't have their driver's license. They're on their bicycles. They're on their skateboards, you know. This is what they do, and I'm really happy about this. It's great.
All right. Any further questions or comments or a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2022505. My motion will be to, for the first reading, waive the second and third, and adopt.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations on all your hard work. Now we'll have to get an application and a recommendation to council for someone that may be interested from the middle school in filling that position. No idea who that will be. Okay, discussion and possible action on updates to the employee handbook and policy manual.
So I hope you all enjoyed your light reading that was included with the packet, and I sent out a few days or maybe a week before this meeting. We've done some pretty extensive reviews of the employee handbook. We've had multiple people looking at it. We sent it out to employees ahead of time so they could have a chance to take a look at it. We only received 2 comments back from employees, and those were just more clarifying questions than anything. Staff went through it earlier this year as well, just looking to see if there's any questions from council at all, or if you want to take pieces of this or wait until the next meeting to approve it. However you want to do it. There's a lot of information in the memo. I don't really want to just regurgitate it all for you here.
I have a question. I just wasn't sure. Did we budget to have Martin Luther King Day as a holiday? Did we? Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I mean, there will be certainly overtime for the police department, and there's always an overtime budgeted line for the police department, and there likely will be minimal overtime for DPW, but other than that, there won't be any financial impact outside of that.
Any other questions or comments?
I just shared that I read through it quite carefully, and I spent a lot of time with it, and I didn't find anything that concerned me or caused me to be pausing, so that's my perspective.
So, are you looking for approval?
I would move adoption of the revised employee handbook and policy manual.
I would second that motion.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. I just want to thank everybody, all the staff and everyone that worked so hard on reviewing this and their input. I think it's important to always have our policies and our manuals be modernized, right? We have to keep up with the environment for which our institution exists. So thank you everyone for all of your efforts.
And then the Martin Luther King holiday, we'll be adding that into the union contract as well. I don't know if a motion is needed for that, but we'll add that into the contract and then do signatures on that document with the police union.
That's why we have an attorney.
If that's a question to me,
Kind of.
yes, whenever is an amendment to a contract, then you would need to bring it back to the council to approve that. That's fine.
All right, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed 2023 water, wastewater, stormwater, and TID budgets. Is this all Kelsey? Congratulations, Kelsey.
So staff has been preparing the 2023 budgets for utilities and TID. These budgets are enterprise funds, which that means that they're not tax supported and they don't follow the same approval process as our general fund budget. So that's why they're here separately from that. The utility budgets are remaining consistent with prior years and following the capital improvement plan that was approved previously. The TID budgets are more estimates and financial projections used for long-term planning, and financials are going to fluctuate with TIDs, but they're just an estimate at this point. In 2022, wastewater became debt-free, so there's no debt on the 2023 budgets for wastewater. And all utilities are self-sufficient for 2023. At this point, the Madison Avenue and North Clear Lake improvements are unfunded and not included in the budget. And the TIDs are all self-sufficient for 2023 with the exception of TID 10, which is being supported right now from transfers from other TIDs until development occurs or debt's repaid. Staff is recommending the approval of the 2023 budgets for water, wastewater, stormwater, and TID 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11.
Nice job, Kelsey. Does anybody have any questions for Kelsey?
I have one.
Go, Larry, go.
Kelsey, any sense of when or if the other two utilities would become self-sufficient or debt-free, I guess would be the way I'd put that. So.
I don't know offhand, but I can get back to you. We have debt schedules, but Madison Avenue and North Clear Lake could put a potential increase in time in that, but I can look into it and get it emailed out to everyone.
I was just curious. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Just be good. Good job.
So you're looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the proposed 2023 budgets for water, wastewater, stormwater, TID number 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11 budgets.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further questions or comments on these budgets? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. That motion carries. Discussion and possible
I have a
action.
question, if I could. On number 10, the previous item, there were two motions that could be made. Can we make another motion? Can we make a motion to amend the police union contract to include Martin Luther King, or do we have to have?
I think they have to have a memo come forward.
Yeah, I would recommend that it be prepared before you
Understood.
approve it, yes.
No. I was looking at TID 10 and wondering what the second amendment about TID 10 was going to be. Okay. Discussion and possible action regarding a work order from Baxter and Woodman for general engineering consulting services.
This work order is similar to all previous general engineering work orders that the city has hired Baxter and Woodman to perform on behalf of the city for services that aren't within the scope of a defined project or miscellaneous tasks that maybe don't warrant the full level of a work order, and just to provide miscellaneous services for engineering work that staff may not be able to complete or does not have time or the expertise to complete.
Questions or comments?
Make a motion to approve the work order for Baxter Woodman for general engineering consulting services.
Second.
There's a motion and a second, and it's all the boys tonight. Everyone in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. Discussion?
Can I just ask a question about that real quick?
Yes.
I'm just, is the work that Baxter and Woodman that we already have planned and approved is that already in our capital budget?
So projects like specifically, or a specific project, for example, like Madison Avenue, that work order has been approved. As far as funding the project, while a project may be listed in the capital improvement plan, it needs to also be funded and budgeted. And as noted, as an example, that Madison Avenue would not be. Other projects, for example, like Woodcrest Lane, those are included in the capital improvement plan. They are funded through the regular budget.
Okay.
And a work order is prepared because it's a larger engineering project with a larger fee. This is more for smaller tasks that don't involve, a defined scope or fee.
Okay, all right. I just wasn't sure. So if we had anything come up that we didn't have already planned in the budget outside of Madison Avenue,
Yeah, we would bring that forward for approval.
okay, that
It
would
would-
come
it would-
forward this,
Yeah, it would consist of possibly of an engineering work order would be the first step to do the design and the bidding, and then
okay,
when the project's bid, there would be a construction bid that is brought forward for approval, review and approval before any funds would be expended.
okay, thank you.
Discussion and possible action regarding a work order from Baxter and Woodman for development assistance engineering services. Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
Move for approval of the, let me rephrase it. Work order for Baxter and Woodman for development assistant engineering services.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there a question on this end? It is the naughty end. I'm just going to say it. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. We are down to general items. All right. I have a general item. This is your homework, and I have to say it so I don't forget it. Okay. Because our next team building is going to be extensive. It's also Christmas sweater. Next meeting is wear a Christmas sweater. Okay. Or a holiday sweater. So, for our next team building, all of you separately, have to email me a song that was popular the year you were born.
A Christmas song? Or
No, just any song. Any song. It can be a Christmas song.
Can I write my own?
No, it has to be like something that common knowledge. You can't just
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
see how you are. See, yep. This is all right. You're all naughty now. You're all naughty.
Popular song. Has to be appropriate. Okay.
It doesn't have to be appropriate, but we just need to know how much editing we have to do for the video.
There you go. I'm gonna win this one.
You don't even. Okay, submitting the song is not a win. That is just to get you into the team building game. I just want to be thanked for telling you weeks in advance, because usually you don't get this.
Can I get out by saying I didn't get the memo?
No, because we can send you a clip of this video as a reminder. You don't need to recognize them. That is not.
Song from the year we were born and a picture of us wearing a sweater.
No, you wearing appropriately
This is
Christmas
not the game where you
sweaters.
whisper in somebody's ear and it goes around, see what you have to
Baby picture.
a baby picture.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, let's start doing baby shower and wedding shower games. That's perfect.
So we send that
You
address to.
you email it. Okay. All right. So the overachievers are the ones that are doing their homework right now.
Yeah, I see
I
that.
just-
I had no idea that song was from 1981.
Okay, And do not share your answers with other people. Okay? You do not share your answers with the rest of us. I am the only one that gets the answers.
Do you want our year too, or just the song?
I would say that. No,
like
you
it.
can include the
Yes.
year.
Yes.
This is not homework for me. This is not homework for me. And just so you know, we're going to have cookies too. For all of your trouble, you will get a cookie. And that was not in the budget, Linda. We're going over the budget for cookies. Just saying.
That's okay.
I want to get the approval ahead of time. Committee reports.
I have a general item. A couple of things that I would just like to request. As of this meeting tonight, I think everybody knows that some of us were, in fact, at the municipal conference. And one of the things that the League of Municipality is requesting for the local governments to do is make their request to the state, to the League of the Municipalities, and let them know what we're dealing with as far as things that we can't afford. Madison Avenue and Clear Lake Road is like top of the list for us. And so I'm just wondering if we can somehow do a formal letter or request, something that the city council can sign, and we can pass it on up the chain, and hopefully we can get something out of it. And then
Okay, so I already did that. I already did that at the conference. I did. But if there's something else that you would like us to put together, something more formal, and I think if I understand where you're getting or going with this, is that the state has not been very good about shared revenue. They've cut it over the past decade significantly, and this has been a topic of conversation all around the state, and especially with the League of Wisconsin Municipalities. And I would encourage you all to get your mail, because there is information in the municipality magazine. So, okay, number 2. Yes.
My other question is what the plan commission discussion was for the off-premise signing.
So unfortunately, that item was tabled. The business that made that request was unable to attend the meeting, and she wanted to be a part of the conversation. So that discussion has been tabled until she's able to appear. So there was no discussion.
Which one was tabled?
So on the Plan Commission agenda, there was a discussion and direction regarding off-premise directional signs for businesses located within the downtowns.
Mark, are we getting off topic? Or I feel like you look like you want to push the button and tell us to stop talking or something.
I was getting close with the last item, but no, there was just a report, so that's all. That's fine.
Okay, well, you can lecture, Linda. Okay, any other general items or committee reports, Teresa?
Yeah, I just went from the Gathering Place board meeting. It was announced that Dave Fisher is retiring as of the end of March. So we will be looking for a new director of Gathering Place. If you know of anybody that might be good at it or interested, encourage them to apply.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Larry, Ryan,
Historic Preservation meets tomorrow.
anybody else? Edgerton Fire Protection District Board meets again this week. Larry, that's my whole life. I think you know that already. You do. I know. So, anything else for anyone? Should we go on to staff reports? Shall we? Mark? How was Florida?
Florida was nice. Christmas decorations are all up. Leaf collection's completed. Getting ready for winter items. Not a whole lot, so that's good. Just the normal routine stuff.
And anything about Christmas trees that you want to talk about?
We will collect Christmas trees at the curb after Christmas.
Okay then. Kelsey.
Just working through processing tax bills. They're printed. Just have to balance them and then they'll be going in the mail.
That's always an exciting time of year for all of us. Inga?
So, previously, back in, I think, 2014, that was the last year that we put together a full budget document. And this year, Kelsey and I have been working on bringing that back. So we have a full budget document that has our policies in it, all of the different, spreadsheets that Kelsey puts together, some narratives, some goals for each department. So we're working on compiling all of that, and we're hoping to have it out to you at least by the end of the year, but it might be January. It was a tall order to try and get everything put together, but we're excited to see it all coming to shape.
Thank you. Chief.
Since we met last, Officer Pierre Miller has completed field training and is now on his own, working the midnight shift. By the end of the month, Officer Samantha Zebel and Officer Toby Cook will be off probation as they completed their probationary year and will continue on with us. And Officer Angelica Wolf is about midway through field training. By mid to end of January, she will be completed with field training and on her own, and things are coming together. So it's been a long year, but we're almost there. So thanks for all your support.
Thanks. Library, Ashley.
Nothing too much to report. Same old stuff. I'm busy. I was actually looking at some statistics for kind of end of the year wrap up, and we're up about 18,000 library visits from this time last year. So we were definitely very busy at the library with programming and everything. And I did want to share that the Milton Youth Coalition website is up and running, so you can go to miltonyouthcoalition.org to kind of join our newsletter, kind of get up to date of what we're doing with the coalition.
Thank you very much. Jenny?
Just a quick reminder that now the portion for the spring election, the nomination papers can be circulated. So the last day to send those in or drop them off is Tuesday, January 3rd at 5 p.m. So as a reminder, that's mayor and 3 alderpersons. And then also, Kelsey and I have been kind of working through an election security sub-grant, so that will be for some new hardware to be used. So we're hoping that that's going to be purchased in January as long as everything's approved. And then Inga, myself, and Kelsey are also working to a goal for 2023 is trying to get more of our forms online and a little bit easier for people to get the information, quicker approvals, because they're going to try and get them out to different departments. So that's everything from some of our internal building permits, park rentals, dog licenses, etc. So that's kind of a goal to work on. So hopefully we will have that up and running whatever way we chose at this point by probably February or March, again depending on which route we decide on.
Awesome, thank you. Al?
Working with Chief Pickering on developing some transitional numbers, transitional kind of systems. Chief Pickering was going to be here tonight to present the organizational chart, but unfortunately wasn't able to attend, so he's going to try to attend on December 20th. Really just kind of an update for everybody, and so everybody can kind of see where their plans are moving on that front. Another big item that's on the horizon, very likely in 2023, which will probably take a good chunk of 2023, is we have started the process of having our ordinances, mainly our zoning and subdivision ordinances, kind of evaluated. For lack of a better term, we engaged with Vandewall and Associates to do kind of an audit of our ordinances, and they provided us back a 16-page response, which was great, but really was basically kind of saying, yeah, your ordinances are super out of date. It took them about 16 pages to say that. And we already knew that, and we knew that there was inconsistencies and redundancies and circular references within our ordinances. So we'll probably further engage them here in the next couple of weeks, and then hopefully map out a plan for 2023 to see if that's something that we want to undertake in terms of rewriting our zoning ordinances or just kind of spiffing them up. I don't know that the latter of those two is really an option anymore because they've just been kind of chopped up so many times over the years. But it's a massive undertaking that most communities kick the can down the road as long as possible. But you know, being that Mark is new and you know, Jenny being new, and I still feel relatively new, believe it or not, you know, I think now is a good time to tackle that. So we will stand by for some fun workshops.
And I think that council is pretty familiar with the issues that we have, which many communities do because their ordinances are from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and they're not modern. They're not easily followed. There's 10 references to 20 other ordinances when you're trying to pass something. We frequently are bringing back ordinances to revise them, and it will be an undertaking. It will be a financial investment, but I don't think we will serve our community better to have modern, clearly written ordinances that there isn't all this confusion or, you know, trying to write a ticket and find out you can't write a ticket, right? Not that we're into doing that a lot, but we want to have good ordinances because they help us be a strong, functioning community. So,
Wasn't there a workshop that was offered to the Plan Commission on the planning and zoning? Did I see that, Inga? Did we have?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jenny.
There was multiple trainings, and there was one in particular that Mark, Inga, and I, and then Commissioner Bob Seals actually went to in Janesville. And then after that, we have some zoning and boarding workshops that are virtual, which we do have copies of those that the recordings that are available. So that those were pretty broad and not specific to what our ordinances specifically should or shouldn't be, just because we have a lot of stuff to go through, but they were good, definitely good trainings for anyone that was interested in them.
I was going to send out an email, but I didn't have a chance to put it together. Just a quick update on last week. I attended the Edgerton Fire Protection District Board meeting, and they did approve job descriptions for the new staffing model, and they approved the transition plan. Okay, so that is done. That is, you know, they're the ones that approved this. We're not part of that district, or however, that commission. It's a commission, right? Okay, so until February. Until February. So these are decisions that have to be made prior to February 1st in order for us to have a smooth transition process. So the Edgerton Fire Protection District Board has been having extra meetings and working really hard to review these plans and approve them so the transition runs smoothly. So that's the transition plan isn't something that our fire commission approves. It's something that the Edgerton Fire Protection District Board approved already. Anything else? And we signed on the dotted line, so like it's happening. You were all at the meeting, or almost all of you were at the meeting. So, but steps are being taken, and we will have something in our tax bills that communicates out to the city of Milton, like where we are, what we've done, the process going forward. So our community will have a better understanding of where we are at with fire and EMS services, which will continue. There's not going to be a lapse in any service provision. So that's all I have about that. And like I said, we'll meet again this week.
And we haven't heard about a fire commission meeting.
Like
For December.
There hasn't been an agenda for the city of Milton Town and Milton Fire published yet. I'm sure there's going to be a meeting.
A question about the municipality magazine. Your article was really, really good, and my thought was sharing it with individuals who ask about the fire department. Are reprints of individual articles available through the municipality? That might be an idea for.
The PDF copy of the municipality magazine, it's available on their website, so we could easily print off a copy of it if we need to.
Yeah, and obviously I wrote it, so I have a copy of it too.
My thought is that that article does a good job of saying this is really exceptional, and for us to be able to point to it and say, we've got a model that others may be looking at adopting. And in fact, there was another article just this week about Orfordville in terms of now they don't know what they're going to do because one of their towns said no. And the statement there was eventually we need to merge somehow. So, I think it does do a good job of pointing out that this was a really, really gargantuan effort, and that it places us in a position of saying we did something really special here.
Yeah, and one thing, that's the first article I've written, I think, for the municipality, and, it's submitted and then it's edited. And one thing I would like to say is that I don't think I personally emphasized enough the appreciation that we have for the existing municipalities that we petitioned. We did a lot of work ourselves, the townships and the city of Milton. But in addition, so did the other townships, and the city of Edgerton put in a lot of effort and extra meetings, and it really was a 10 municipality group effort. And it deserves recognition for everybody that was involved. So.
Nice job.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thanks, Linda. All right, so if there's nothing further, our next meeting date will be December 20th, 2022. I have given you an assignment and direction on what type of clothing to wear. So, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Mark, our attorney Mark, it would be acceptable for a Christmas tie. If you're going to insist on wearing a suit, you could wear a Christmas tie to fit in. Did we vote? Are we adjourned?
Yes.
Okay.